welcome to this week's episode of Mount Paozu Arcade. I'm Meta Abe here with Hell Pockets, and tonight we have a special guest, SoCal veteran and future DBFZ monster, Tatsu. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Happy to have you here. Chris,
No,
how
yeah,
you doing,
thanks for
bro?
inviting me. It's really cool.
For sure. I don't even know if Chris can hear me right now.
I
or
can
if
hear you, but actually it was like I'm thinking ahead of schedule. Sorry. But yes, welcome Tatsu to the show. Welcome to our Dragon Ball show, basically. Hope you're having a good night, and I hope you're having a good time in this post-beta Dragon Ball Fighters world.
I mean, could be better if I was still playing, but
Yes.
I think we all have those post-beta blues still.
Yeah, we got that postpartum fucking shit going on right now.
Like-
where it's
like-
it's been long enough, right? Like, oh god.
Dude, like it's been like 3 weeks or something, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, there's just so much stuff I want to test out. And I mean, thankfully, we've got some steady stream of information coming in because Bandai Namco and the people that they're working with are really cool about letting that out there. But God, if I didn't have one setup I wanted to try before the beta ended, now I have to wait until January.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess we got some time, but we got some reveals though. Since the last time, or it's not really reveal, more like more info and more screenshots and some video, right?
Yeah, we got more info, more screenshots, more video. Thanks to Game Informer. We'll get into that later, obviously. I wanted Tatsu to at least, introduce himself a little bit. You played matches with Nakiel at PAX, and you've been kind of tearing it up ever since. You and Nakiel have been two of the people to beat in the Western area. And it's just beta, obviously, but still, you guys were kind of showing everybody how this is done. And I mean, I gotta say, this is probably the first time I've seen you in this realm in terms of anime fighters.
Yeah, I'm primarily known for being like a Street Fighter player, or at least, staying in Capcom realm. And so, I think it's really cool that Dragon Ball kind of provides that like opportunity to actually have all these different communities come together because everyone likes Dragon Ball, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, almost everybody. The people that don't, we won't mention.
Yeah, I imagine it's a very small, cynical group.
A little bit.
Hey, little guys, relax over there. There's a seat for you over there in the corner. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's cool to have you on. It's cool to have you on board with Dragon Ball Fighters, and it's cool to have you on the show. And I hope you're ready to talk to us about the giant flux of information, right, Abe? That's coming through from Game Informer. Like,
yes. So we finally got a pretty decent look at the two Super Saiyan Blue characters. I have to say, cool shit so far, man. Cool shit.
I want to know what Tatsu thinks before I give my thoughts on it, because I've been stewing on these characters for quite a bit. So what do you think of what do you think of Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta, and Goku in comparison, especially to the original forms?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a given that they were probably going to be in the game to begin with because of how, like, they have to market Super, right?
Right.
And, yeah, I mean, I'm probably on the same boat as you guys where I am constantly, like, worried about who they're going to add to the cast. Like, oh, are these characters going to be unique?
Yeah.
We certainly don't want just a bunch of versions of Goku that play the same. But
Yes.
I think so far, it's looking good. So far, I think, like, some of the normals are the same when I was looking at Super Saiyan God Goku, but his playstyle and his approach seems so different.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Watching the video, especially of Super Saiyan Blue Goku. I want to say almost confidently that he's 98% a different character. One of the things I noticed right off the bat was that guy doesn't have a projectile. I did not see
dude.
one meter was Kamehameha from Super Saiyan Blue Goku. It's all melee attacks. That's pretty big considering his previous iteration was like pretty much built around that special.
His assist is a dive kick too. It's
Yep.
And regular Goku has the Kamehameha still. So
yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people were asking like, well, what's gonna make me want to pick regular Goku over Super Saiyan Blue Goku? And I'm like, you're gonna want that godlike Kamehameha assist, man. Like, you want that hyper viper beam.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to what they're trying to do with this game with the whole 3v3 aspect and how it's like it's not how strong you are as a solo character. It's like how well
Mm.
you're gonna, click with your team and like what utility you can provide for your team, right?
Yes.
I
there.
definitely, from watching the video too, am really curious as to the hitbox and the use of that dive kick assist and how we can possibly use it. Um, but I don't have a lot of confidence in something like that. I don't know. I feel like we got to see a lot more footage for stuff like that. And unfortunately, one of the topics of discussion was how long that video was.
Oh my
Um,
god.
how like, dude. So I booted up the video and I was like, cool. We'll probably get like 2 matches. I
I
was
mean, we did. We got 2 matches, right?
uh we'll probably get some 2 matches and but like I booted it up, I was like, damn, this is taking a lot longer for each match than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
And I fast forward through it and I was like, holy shit, they're still playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think in total they must have ran that match for about 6 minutes, like the first one.
Yeah. It was like
Uh,
6:30, I think. It was like 6 minutes and 30 seconds.
Holy shit. The reason why we were concerned about that was because we always talk about what this game is going to look like in tournaments, because the inevitability of this ending up in the major circuit is, well, inevitable. And one of the biggest blowups with that is, if you're doing production especially, is how long do these matches run? And if the pools are big, how long are they going to make pools last, you know? And if we're talking like 6 minutes between two players who don't really know what they're doing, that's gonna drag quite a bit, you know. So when I
Yeah.
saw that 6-minute mark, and these guys are supposedly the best players in the dev area, in the dev
Okay.
section, I'm just like,
Okay.
oh shit, man, like this.
Yeah.
They might need to up the damage a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, make sure you get that right, dude. Best of the devs.
Sorry.
Not best in the world.
There was a little confusion earlier over who these guys were exactly and what they meant to the rest of the world. And some guys thought that these 2 guys were the best. They thought Game Informer were proclaiming them to be the best Dragon Ball FighterZ players in the world. Spoilers, there are none yet because it's in beta. But they never once said that they were actually the best in the world. They were just the best in their circle, their dev circle. So that's it. And maybe they're better than what they showed. I think they were sandbagging a little bit because they wanted to show off some things. You know, we have some experience with playing a game and possibly, you know, trying to show what these characters can do throughout the match, and then you're going to doing some shit you don't normally do, and you're like, wow, it's takes it back. So that's all about that. So I'm not, but at the same time, 6 minutes and 30 seconds, dog.
I know, man. I played Tatsu. Did I play that? Did I? You know what? I don't...
We played a
Yeah.
couple games.
Yeah, damn, I didn't want to sound like a liar. Sorry, I wanted to double check that. I was like, I'm over here.
How are you, man?
But so the way this video plays out, obviously they're not up to speed on like the neutral of the game too well, and they probably are showing off a lot of the move sets and stuff like that. That'd be the smart thing to do, right?
Mhm.
Because we always got to remember that this game is a lot more than just the FGC game. Something that we keep having to remind ourselves and the rest of the viewers that we're selling it on different fronts, right? So I'm not surprised as to how they're trying to sell them as the best dev players or whatever. And frankly, it's not a big deal. But this is not indicative of what a tournament match would be like. It's just, showing off the characters.
That's what I think also. By the way, shout outs to Game Informer and ArcSys for making this footage that we are now watching right now. There's some stuff in this that I noticed that was definitely a little bit, I don't want to know if it was different or new from the previous build, but I'm liking what I'm seeing, you know. I think it's going in a good direction. The only thing
Go ahead, sorry.
I was like, the only thing that's kind of concerning me, and we're probably going to get into this at length later, you mentioned this during the pre-show, Tatsu, is that little Dragon Ball meter that appears down in between the super bars.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate suspense, and right now I'm on the edge of my seat for the last 2 days wondering what the hell it does. So that's probably the only thing keeping me from 100% enjoying this video footage, because I'm just like, what's going to happen when that thing pops off?
Well, before we get to that, I know, Tatsu, you noticed some utility and aspect on Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta's Big Bang attack, right?
Yeah. So we're already seeing some differences about you know how Vegeta is different from Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and
Yeah,
the first thing we can know that we found out was that Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta's Big Bang attack is a special.
yeah.
It's not a super, so you don't have to spend any meter on it, and it hits upon startup. Like so, as soon as that ball appears and pops up, that's a hit.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it was a little deceptive to me when I first saw it. Like, I didn't think that it hit because I don't know, the animation is weird or something, or the effects around it. But then after I saw your tweet, I was like, holy shit, that shit does hit right away. Like,
Yeah, and I tweeted too that it does the same thing for regular Vegeta in the 3DS Extreme Butoden game, which is also developed by Arc System Works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see those ideas being like revisited and reused.
And I'm wondering like what else we'll see from Super Butoden because there's characters that were in that game that are in this game that have moves that they don't have in this game, and I'm kind of wondering if they'll find a way to slip them in as an alternate version of the character because we know they're already willing to do that with Goku and Vegeta. We're probably going to get another version of Gohan. There's possibly these other moves that are going to be introduced to us in this game, and I'm kind of excited for that.
Like that game's roster really is like a pretty like if I had to take a guess, it's pretty close to what we have now. And so I think when they were making that game and designing all the characters and figuring out who to put in, they asked themselves the same questions that they were going to ask in this game, like, oh, how do we like decide on which characters which ones are going to be interesting to play, which ones are going to promote the anime like Super.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think a lot of people should check out that game.
And, oh, definitely, man. That game is actually really, I mean, I've been playing it since a year ago, and it's really fun. The super characters, unfortunately, don't come in until later because they added the assist through DLC. I think as far as we got was Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Beerus. And then I don't know if they've ever added any other playable characters to the game in the post, but
Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is like an assist that you unlock.
Yeah, he's an assist character, yeah.
But yeah, Beerus and Super Saiyan Blue Goku are playable.
That's the only about as far as it goes. So potentially Dragon Ball FighterZ can go further. I hope it does. But I've been saying that if you want to make an educated guess for who's going to be in this game, look at Extreme Butoden. Definitely, what would be the exact word? The unique characters have a strong chance of being in this game.
There should be an image on the internet if you just look up like Extreme Butoden roster. It shows like all the characters in this image, and it's like has like little stat charts and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I always go back to what the producer said too about the way they implement what characters they want to put in, and they were saying that they want as many unique playstyles as possible. However, she has since gone back on some of the other things that she said as well. She hasn't gone back vocally, but from what we've seen, I think they even said that they didn't want to bring in that many repeat like palette swaps, And here we are with Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Goku.
I mean, I would almost call that forgivable in a way.
Oh yeah, totally. We're in a situation where it's like we figured it'd be like that, but then she kind of threw us off of what to expect by saying that. At least for me, I was like, nah, no way, bro. They're not gonna put another Goku in there. And then now I'm thinking, dude, they might have Rose up in this piece, man.
They might get Black. We might get Rose. We might get Bardock, Turles.
Dude, Bardock would be. By the way, sorry we're on black screen right now, guys. Waiting for our producer to come back from the bathroom. But yeah, Bardock and Rose are definitely high on people's lists of appearing in this game.
Yeah.
I think they have a strong chance. Obviously, we mentioned this last week, but there's been videos, not necessarily confirming that they have, nice move sets, because I think that's something that all the characters have in common in this game is that their move sets are not made up. Basically, these are all things that you've caught either in the manga or the anime, and I mean basically all you need is like a set of like maybe 20 or 25 unique attacks and you have a chance at the roster. So they got something for Super Saiyan Rose. I'm assuming they're gonna do one for Fuse Zamasu because he had a freaking boatload of moves. I've been arguing that fucking Rikum should be in this game. The guy's like a freaking Rolodex of special moves.
I feel like he has a pretty good chance. I mean, anyone who's had like a long fight in the manga, they have a pretty good chance because then they actually have source material to work from.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, if they want a palette swap, I'm not too scared of that, because if they can do it in the way that they just did with Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta, then I'm okay with that, because we play Shotos all the fucking time. We got Ken, Ryu, and Goki. And they're just like, oh yeah, they're totally different. And they are. But if you show the untrained eye Ken, Ryu, and Goki, they're just like, why is he blonde? And then why is he an orange guy? Like, what happened to Ryu? Like, his skin just turned all bad. And it's like, you have to explain to them, like, no, they have totally different approaches in their personality and their psychology and gameplay. But they have more or less the same moveset. And Dragon Ball FighterZ, they took it a step further and said, you know what? We're even going to change the moveset. Mm-hmm. And the psychology behind these characters is going to be, in terms of Goku, completely different. In terms of Vegeta, a little bit more towards his offensive capabilities. Because you'll notice that in the video, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta's moveset did not include a lot of defensive maneuvers. No longer has the DP. The Hurricane Kick back, or the Hurricane Kick attack, no longer available. It's probably the command grab or something like that. So he's supposedly more offensive heavy. And so when they can do that with a character, I'm okay with that. I'm ready for more stuff like that. And I think that's probably the only case where we're going to see that. I think we're not going to get, I think that's the only other Goku and Vegeta we're going to get in the game. Everybody else is going to be unique. Unless you count Rose and Bardock as Goku clones.
Well, I'll tell you what, this situation that we're in right now has definitely got me on my heels as far as predicting what's going to come.
Ooh.
Especially because we already got most of the characters that we were pretty sure are going to be in the game, right? Now we're dipping into an area or arena where almost anything can happen. And who knows how it's going to get implemented. Like, there's still a lot of fan favorite characters that you kind of don't know how they would work if they don't have super dashes or certain types of movesets, right?
I always wondered, like, how far ahead did they plan? Like, obviously, they're trying to cover everything from the Z side of the series, right? Mm-hmm. And I think at this point, they've pretty much, other than a couple of fan favorites reaching far back into the Rolodex, they've covered that. Now people are waiting for the Super side, right? And people are wondering, well, what characters from Super are they going to get? Hopefully they don't get any characters that have like minor roles just so they can fill up space to fill that quota. And I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, man, you know what? They're doing a lot of promotion for that Goku and Jiren fight. Wouldn't it be a total head trip if Jiren is not in this game?
What do you think, Tatsu?
We don't really know what Jiren does yet, huh?
No, we don't.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a really big point. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking about it too, and obviously, you look at characters like Android 17 in Super, and he's like one of the coolest fucking characters. Like when they brought him back, they brought him back with they made sure we're gonna give this guy the attention he needs. 17 fans, I got you. But and then you look at the roster and he's just like an assist. So I think the roster was probably decided way before Jiren was even planned to become popular in the anime. And so I wonder if maybe maybe super characters haven't really been considered a whole lot yet.
That's an interesting theory.
That was my conclusion, where I was just like, you know what? They don't really seem to be showing them a lot, because either they just didn't expect to go beyond the movies, or maybe they're, got some some future DLC plans. But I kind of feel it's weird that they started developing a game and Toei didn't tell them, like, hey, by the way, guys, this Jiren guy is going to be a big fucking deal. You're going to want to keep an eye out for him. Like, we're going to have freaking, fight card buildups with Tasty Steve and freaking Steph with Sajam on Saturdays. We're going to have a freaking pre-fight special for these two guys. You might want to keep an eye on this dude and put him in the game. I find it hard to believe that they just neglected to tell them that. at any point during the development of fighters. So I feel okay about him being in there, but not in the first release.
So I'm gonna tell you what happened. This is my theory as to why they probably haven't planned it out yet. So I feel like they showed a lot of the designs of the throwaway characters currently in Super right now, and they were like, what are we supposed to do with this cupcake girl? Like, you know what? Let's just keep it Dragon Ball Z, baby, because I don't know what the hell you guys are doing over there.
I mean,
the name is Dragon Ball Fighters.
Do you guys have a preference? Like, do you want it to stay as just like a Dragon Ball Z thing versus something that will, potentially introduce new characters from Super? Because when you look at the roster now, like a lot of it really is source material based, right? Like,
it is. I mean, the reality of it is they're obviously dipping into the Super territory because I think they've actually come out and said that this takes place after Z ends, and that basically puts it in Super territory. There's been discussion on whether or not the new Trunks stage that we saw in that video is the future Trunks from Super rather than the future Trunks from Z stage. I mean, sidebar, it's actually kind of hard to tell because, that could easily be the future where Super Goku Black destroys the world, or it could be the scene where Gohan dies. They look exactly the same.
He's got that purple hair versus the blue one, though.
Exactly, right? They knew what they were doing. It's like, man, fuck that blue shit, dude. Why would you even do that to the character? But I would like to see. I mean, Abe's gonna give me shit for this, but I'd like to see GT characters just because it's been a consistent thing within Namco's or Bandai Namco's way of making Dragon Ball games that they always find a way to include the good Dragon Ball GT elements, not the cheesy stuff necessarily.
I got something to say about that, Chris. I'm just shocked that you're in such belief of GT, man. Like, I kind of thought you were joking, but after bringing it up for like possibly the 13th time ever on this show, now I'm convinced. I'm convinced that you really.
Yeah, I'm a fucking GT shill. How many times do I have to tell you?
It took me a while, dude, because I find it hard to believe because it's so obvious to me it's not gonna happen. But hey, that's just me. You do you. But
I would like them to go as far as they could, basically. I know that they probably started developing a lot of these characters before they found out where Dragon Ball Super was going. I think they probably got as far up as to the first Universal Tournament where they first introduced Hit. I think that's about as far as they get. Everything else is going to be like future DLC, major update material,
I mean, I'd be cool with that. I'll take that. I'll take if they at least put Hit and they got to put Beerus, right? Well, I'll tell you what. We're talking a lot about what characters we think are going to be in the game. And we do this with every guest that we have. This time, we're going to take it a bit easy on you because I think 10 is a ridiculous number for you to come up with right now. So I'll give you 5 characters that you think are likely to be in the game that haven't been announced.
Likely to be in the game?
That you think is going to be in the game, I guess.
Yeah, that's not the hot seat. It's the lukewarm seat.
Yeah.
I think I think there's a pretty good chance, or it's pretty much confirmed at this point, that like there's going to be another form of Gohan and Boo, right? You guys know
lightweight confirmed, yeah, because of the way.
Just if you look at the website and like the Japanese website, and you click on all the character URLs, like Gohan and Boo are the only characters that have like a prefix to them, which presumes that there's probably going to be adult Gohan and Kid Boo, I would guess. But as far as other characters I want to see, I hope they add Gotenks.
Yeah,
I think he has like a lot of personality and probably a unique moveset to offer. Ginyu would be really cool.
On that one.
I think his body change mechanic would be like a really sick level 3. And he also has a lot of reference material to work off of from the anime and the manga.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the Ginyu Force in general just would pop off so well in Dragon Ball Fighters because they just have such an aesthetic to them that really shows up would really show off the game.
Yeah, it would be really cool. Like they're just like, can you imagine if Ginyu does like a pose and then it like puts a buff on him or something where he like that's such a fighting game thing though when you think about it. Like it would totally fit. So yeah, Gotenks, Ginyu, Brawly. So this this one's weird because I know they're trying to sneak in Super stuff and then Super has its own version of Brawly.
You're making like everybody mad right now.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Not me.
No, because like
I've come to terms with it.
Because I want personally, like I want Brawly in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Extreme Butoden. He's been in like every other Dragon Ball game. He was in like Attack of the Saiyans, like the DS RPG game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he was like a secret boss fight that had nothing to do with the story. Like in that game, that game was like story ended at the Saiyan Saga, but for whatever reason there was like a portal that like led you to like fight Brawly in some alternate universe. Like people love Brawly, right? And Cal is just like an X copy of Brawly, so it's kind of weird to think about.
Oh, you just broke. Now you broke some hearts. Now you broke some hearts.
I'm just saying it like it is.
I've been advocating for Kale for the longest time, but they've got to hurry up and develop her into something unique.
Yeah, I mean she's working there.
Yeah, she's slowly getting there, but
she's getting there.
Dragon Ball writing.
So yeah, Gotenks, Ginyu, Brawly. I kind of want to see Vegito.
Yeah.
He was playable in Hyperdimension, the Super Nintendo game.
Extremely. And we also have two versions of him now because of Super. We have Vegito Blue
That's
and
right.
regular Vegito, and they do kind of have different approaches. So that's kind of something they can mix and match. And I could see Vegito actually being the first Saiyan with an install, where he goes from Super Saiyan Vegito to Vegito Blue.
Oh man, there's just so much stuff you can do with Vegito too. Like his whole like sword move and like the fact that he's cocky and just fights with like his feet because he doesn't need his hands. Like that would be so sick if he could just block with his feet all the time, right? But yeah, so I'd like to see Vegito for sure. And for the last one, I'm just gonna say Nappa. Fuck it, because I played Nappa in Extreme Butoden.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's super sick in that game.
He is so ridiculous.
He's ridiculous.
That's a pretty dope fuck it pick right there.
Yeah. And no, Nappa's tight, man. Like people don't give Nappa enough credit because Goku fucks him up, but like he was like doing like a 1v5 on like all of the Z fighters. Like it was sick.
Dude, he fought the Air Force. He fought like the world's Air Force.
Dude, he was the hypest part of the Saban intro.
Right?
When he splits the plane in half.
Yes!
That is the dopest part. I always got hyped for that part where he shoots into the airplane and then fucking rips it in half. Oh, dude, he's so sick.
My boy Nappa, man.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Like we definitely we've had discussions about Dragon Ball where we don't give enough credit to these characters that are definitely not fighting one-on-one. They definitely are fighting against a bunch of other characters. It's totally not fair.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good list, man.
Thank you. It's hard, right? Because like, I mean, I don't really care what they add at the end of the day, as long as it's fun to play and it's unique. And I'm confident that they'll do a good job with that. But there's just so much to choose from that it's kind of insane.
I actually got another follow-up question. This might be a little deep, but it's more concerning about how the community is pretty much gonna fuse together to be something new. This game doesn't really have any sort of big legacy in the fighting game community, and I'm just curious as to what your thought of what the community may turn into and what you see for it in the future.
Well, I see the game as kind of, this way to unite all of the different fighting game communities that are already existing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Only because, like, it's just something that everyone loves. It's a franchise that everyone loves, and you know, even me, like, you know, getting to play with Nakiel and meeting him in person and stuff, like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like special, right? Because like like I was saying, like I'm a Street Fighter guy,
Yeah.
like primarily, and he's like this Guilty Gear, like BlazBlue guy, and so like,
Mhm.
you know, and you guys are KOF guys, and it's like fucking
Yeah.
insane, right? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, like, yeah, man. I think this game has just huge potential, and not only for fighting game communities, but you know, I hope it brings in Dragon Ball fans that are just, you know, maybe like playing on more on the casual side, but like,
Uh-huh.
but you know, this game offers so much. It's such a, like, I don't want to say like easier. Maybe it's like a simpler like game to get into, right? And for people to pick
I'll,
up as
I'll
as
come
their
up with
first fighting game.
I'll come up with a word that I feel describes Dragon Ball Fighters is that it's a lot easier to digest as a game.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's like easy to get into, but of course the
Yeah.
ceiling is still high, right? It doesn't mean I'm not meaning to say that it's like going to be a simple game at the end. Like we don't know where the game's going to end up at high level
Uh-huh.
at this point in time.
I don't expect that they will push it so far, like within the development studio, that it will ever outpace the community, and that could be from the toppest level of the community to the lowest level. I think it's going to be on the community to drive this game's competitive development 100%. You know, not necessarily the tournaments and whatnot, but how it's played, because they're giving us a lot of tools to work with here, and despite it, a lot of people saying, you know, Dragon Ball Fighters has a very you know, similar cast of characters, which it, you know, now it doesn't. It's very freaking diverse. Some of the characters that play similarly still have differences enough that set them apart that allow you to open up deeper levels of that game, you know? Obviously, if the game was crackable within, you know, as quickly as we thought it was, we would have already cracked it by beta, right? But I was left after beta realizing, like, dude, I don't know anything about this game.
It's too bad we didn't get that PC beta.
Boy, you better stop. You're trying to get us banned from Namco right
now. It's okay. I'm not affiliated. I'm just I'm a rogue.
BAM cops are gonna be like, hey, you want that PC beta? Come in the back alley real quick.
Man, we never even talked about the whole Xbox One situation.
Dude, that is actually really weird.
Yeah.
I heard the situation for that game's beta was like super fucked. Like no one could get into any games.
People were watching our stream and just saying like, yeah, all we can do is play. They eventually let them play like the demo matches when you basically were able to play when the servers were down.
The trial battle.
Yeah, and basically that's it, right? That's all they got for the entirety.
Can't even pick your characters, dude.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, can't pick your characters.
So that was really, I mean, that sucks for them. And it really sucks because up until this point, commercially, that game has only been promoted for Xbox. Obviously, it's coming up for PS4. It's coming
that is wild.
But every show it's been to has been on Xbox One.
That is wild.
That is like, ow.
I think perhaps that may be the only like misstep that I saw that was like I felt really fucking bad about. Like okay, so when beta came around, I already felt bad because there was a lot of people that I knew that didn't get into the beta and they were like foaming at the mouth to play this game. And Tatsu, you were talking about the same thing, right?
Yeah, man. I almost didn't get a beta code. Yeah, like, and I signed up with like 5 different emails, I think. Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, I was lucky enough because I work at Atlas, and so I have a coworker who works in marketing who's got the hookups and stuff. But yeah,
awesome.
I'm coming to you next time, shit.
I mean, I think we're in for the rest of if they have any more betas, right?
They would have to surprise us. They would have announced it by now because we're under 4 months away. Like, it's almost go time, baby.
Hell, be here before you know it, man.
I don't know, man. It feels a bit long.
Yeah.
It's a little bit long.
But no, like, I think we talked about it last week, but like the amount of people that were hitting people up for like codes, like we got hit up by everybody, man. Like I'm getting messages from people that never even talked to me saying like, "Yo, dude, I know you got that beta code. What's up?" And I'm like, I mean, I wish I had a better answer for them than like, turning out the inside of my pockets, but that's all I got, right? And it was weird because I realized that if they did have a surplus of codes, they weren't going to FGC. That was going to YouTube.
Yeah, that is true, man. That situation was great, but it also sucked for a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you where it was great for everybody. We got to see some pretty awesome matches between Tatsu and Nakiel, who was here last week. And I definitely want to hear your opinion, Tatsu, as to your interpretation of those matches and what it was like to face somebody that is probably one of the better US players right now besides yourself.
Yeah, man. It was really fun. I was like, so I lost to Nakiel at PAX actually when I was playing there, and then like, so I don't really like losing a lot.
Yeah.
And so I actually gunned him.
Man.
Yeah, man, I actually gunned him down. I was like, "Hey, did you get the beta?" Like, so I looked on his Twitch channel and shit, and then I saw like he was in a lobby with you guys.
Oh, you stream-sniped him? You stream-sniped him? Really?
I sniped him, man. Like, yeah. So that's how I actually ended up getting some games with him. But man, we had some really great games.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think we're just like, I hesitate to call our matches, high level or anything like that, because at the end of the day, we're still just two dudes who are just trying to figure out the game. But no, it feels really good from what I've played, and we went back and forth. He was actually beating my ass when I started playing the beta, and so I was still salty, like, oh man, I'm just losing more games to him. I'm supposed to beat this guy, right?
Yeah.
But no, like towards the end of the beta, we started going 50-50, and I grew like a really strong appreciation for like what the game could be potentially at like a more higher level of play.
Yeah, those videos got some pretty good circulation, man, and it allowed us to look at it the same way, where it's like we got a glimpse from two players that have a pretty long history with the FGC in different games and how they approach it and how that clash ends up, right? Because that's something that we're going to be looking forward to a lot when the game comes out, and you guys are the first taste of that. And yeah, the things that we're able to take away from that is, okay, we see how you guys are playing, we see how you guys are taking advantage of certain things that maybe we didn't even think about, right? And that's something that the beta was for, and that happened to a lot of us, that once the beta was over, then all of a sudden all types of things that you didn't even think of were revealed to you. It's really weird how that happens after you play the game, and then all of a sudden it just hits you like, why didn't I try this?
Maybe because we were lacking on sleep from staying up for that first beta, man.
Bro,
that 2 a.m. beta on Saturday morning.
Dude, I almost didn't make it. I mean, Abe didn't even make it to the first shift. I was
Oh, you missed it, man?
Dude, I wasn't gonna be a part of that. I mean,
do you regret it or not, man?
I did not regret it because I was ready for the morning. I was like, you know what? Look, I set the alarm, and I was like, I was having this internal monologue with myself, or dialogue with myself, and it was like, listen, Abe, realistically, you're not gonna wake up, right? And I was like, yeah, but I gotta try, dude. It's Dragon Ball Fighters. So I set it up. I woke up, and I was like, yeah, I'm useless. I'm going back to sleep. Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh my god. Yeah,
man, you sleep every day, man. Like Dragon Ball Beta is like one time.
I did not. I was still sleepy during the second shift. He rolled in and like, dude, you sound like you're all messed up, and I'm just like, man, are you serious right now? Like, come on.
Yeah, I took little power naps.
Yeah, but yeah, I know you just like losing, because there was that one match that we played and I beat you, and then like immediately after I was like, all right, I gotta play him again, because that was like the only match I recorded, and so I can't do him like that.
aside from the matches I lost to Nakio, like you were the only person to beat me in the beta.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but like, and then immediately afterwards, you just like totally roto-rooted me, man. Like,
Yeah, I woke up that Switch like, what the fuck?
like, lost the hell pockets. Like, take my damn shirt off real quick.
The commentator curse. We gotta keep it real. You gotta suck, dude.
Hey, I did get top 8 for KO14 at CEO, so don't feel too bad.
Don't forget, viewers.
Where's my medal at? Hold on a second.
It's real. It's real.
But yeah, no, like that game, like I definitely saw a bunch of different styles of play coming together on the beta. I mean, you look at Kugi. Kugi was streaming, and he was another person to be watching out for. He was coming up with a lot of stuff coming from both a Guilty Gear and Marvel background that, you know, led to the, you know, infamous, you know, discussion between me and Abe about Hellzone Grenade on Oki, which is good.
Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah. Are you expecting some type of like, I'm going to argue with you on it?
Just like,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Now that you brought it up. Okay. You wanted this? You got it. Okay. No. So you made that video. By the way, if you guys haven't seen that video, you should go watch it. It's on our YouTube channel where essentially Hell Pockets tries to call me out on not being a believer in Hellzone Grenade.
I was educating you.
Yeah, okay. Oh, sure. But yeah, you brought up that point about Hellzone Grenade, right? And yeah, it's good. I just haven't seen enough of the game to think of it as like a go-to thing. Like it may be very situational, but at the same time, it may not be, depending on what happens with the big feature that we really haven't seen a lot of people to utilize correctly or at all, is how people have utilized sparking. And that's something that you brought up to me that really kind of changed my opinion on Hellzone Grenade, where I was like, yeah, you got a good point there, man. You got the whole thing of your movement getting masked, your movement getting sped up dramatically, and how you can cancel into that. And we're talking about this before the show. Like sparking has been used at a very limited in a very limited way so far, right?
Yeah, the thing is though, it has such huge implications as a comeback mechanic, just because of how many different properties you're getting in that.
And
so
you also,
I think,
oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. I think a lot of people are like talking about how, you know, sparking is not as dumb as X Factor and Marvel. Like we don't know that yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We really don't know. Like
it's really hard to tell.
Super dumb right now. I mean, like being able to cancel any move into a jumping normal and any air normal into an air dash is insane.
Yeah, that is. Oh my god, dude! Like seeing the devs do that just for the hell of it is just like, dude, that looked potent. Then, you know, just watching a dev do overhead air dash and sparking, I'm just like, dude, I wouldn't block it twice.
Yeah, man. I even got hit by a few Nakio mix-ups during the beta when he was in sparking. He would do like a double like air dash will freeze it, and like I was like, I can't block that, especially not in net play.
But that brings me to what I was going to bring up is there was another mechanic that, you know, was kind of getting employed during beta, but I actually saw its true strength in the Game Informer videos, which is deflect, because it looks like once it comes out, you know, everything's getting pushed out, you know, fireballs, melee attacks. It's going to be a real thing to use on Wake Up if you got the window for it, you know? And I think that if you don't have the window for it, you'll just end up blocking. So it might end up being an OS situation.
I've been a proponent of deflect for a while. I
know.
Like it's real. Like I talk about it like on every stream that we have, that it's like it's gonna open up the neutral of the game. Like there's gonna be games won and lost in that trade with a deflect. Like there was a lot of situations that got put in by Nokia where it was like, I better get creative as to how I'm going to get out of this situation. And deflect was one of the go-to features in the game that I used that did help me a lot.
Extremely potent. Like,
yeah.
I have seen it like pull off some amazing, like, you know, escape routes basically. I mean, obviously there's some issues with how auto combos work with it, because it looks like most auto combos push forward and you get a massive jump if you end up hitting during a deflect animation. Whereas it'll push you out, and then your next move will immediately pull you right back in a rubber band effect. Somebody like Trunks has something like that working for him. But at the same time, I think it, if that second maneuver, if that second move whiffs because the guy's mashing, that's a free punish. That's a free whiff punish,
Yeah, man.
Stuff like that can get forced out all the time with deflect.
Yeah, I mean, even in the beta, I saw a lot of instances of someone just doing their, brain dead ABC string, and then you would deflect between the B and the C, and then like the C would just whiff, and you can whiff punish that shit. And I was like,
yes,
man, I didn't get to use that mechanic much because I was scared of using it because it's such a commitment.
Oh yeah, if you whiff that thing, you in trouble.
Yeah, if you whiff it, you're in big trouble. But yeah, I think there's a lot of mechanics in general that we haven't really explored yet that are gonna have huge implications for the final game.
And so I was saying, deflect actually, if the Hellzone grenade Oki is tight, then it probably won't work. But if there's a window there, it totally eats it up, and it's making him waste a bar. And it actually works that good against the homing spear also. So they're both just like, that's like the wake up move if you see an opening,
I think people just haven't had enough time to make it tight. I do believe that it will reach that level. It's just they need to throw us a training mode, man. Like if they give us this open beta with the training mode, dude, a lot of stuff is gonna get exposed. Like it just felt like, I don't know. What's your opinion, Tatsu? You got a good amount of time with it at PAX. Did you feel like the beta, like to what level did it improve you as to where you were before at PAX?
I mean, I got a lot better during the beta. What do we get? Like 12 hours of gameplay? That's like, I figured out some cool combos, I guess.
It's arcade mode, man. It's all you can do.
Yeah, and but there's still a lot of things I think that I can't do with that training mode, right? I hope...
say if you had training mode though, how much crazier?
It would be way faster.
Yeah.
I just want to say, how much you want to bet they got a training mode already in a build somewhere in Japan? How much you want to bet they got that? And they knew that if they put training mode in the beta, they bet nobody's going to play online. There's going to be no online matches so we can test servers. We're just going to be playing training mode the whole time.
Dude, you know what? I think you're wrong on that, because I think people are all about those kinds of matches. It wasn't. I guess they don't have a ranked, would be the problem. But the first thing that people go into is some ranked matches. Me, as a person that wants to get better, I'm trying to play player matches because I just want to keep going.
No, I feel you on that, but I'm talking like from the developer and the publisher standpoint. They knew if they selectively give out these things to especially FGC people, they're gonna hit training mode hard for at least like 1-2 of those sessions, and they're probably just like, you know what? Let's let them swim. Let them swim in the waters a little bit. We're not even gonna give them a chance to match up with their friends. Just let them fight whoever's in the room. Genius, man. And we ate it up. We ate it up.
I'm waiting for that dude to come out, one of the developers, to be like, damn, good thing we didn't give you guys a training mode, because there was some really fucked up shit in that last build.
That's the thing too, right? Like if we had access to training mode and we found some like broken things,
there would have been some grind, baby.
They would be on it like immediately.
Now it actually might have improved like some of the public image of the game, and not like, I mean, like, what is it, like at 98% positivity at this point? Might have got the extra 2% if we had a training mode. But I mean, I'm willing to sacrifice that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like complaints right now, like people saying matches are going too long, or like super damage is not high enough, or whatever. But from my perspective, I'm just like, we don't know how high the damage cap goes right now.
Yeah.
Like, for all I know, I'm just doing baby combos still, right? And I probably am.
What if, because some of those combos are pretty intricate right now, and you're just like, it only does like 50 or 60%, really? If there's something beyond that, holy shit.
I don't know, a lot of my like cell assist extension combos where I would do like his like EX hug into like call assist and then super dash and repeat it. Rinse repeat. Yeah. Like using 2 assists, those would do like 70% sometimes, right? Like not even me blowing a level 3 or anything. So I feel like damage is pretty damn good right now.
It's like just going to make you use all your assets.
Yeah, at the very least, I think you can kill someone in like 2 combos in this game if you actually optimized it. in the current state, right? Like I don't even know if 100% they're gonna exist in the final game.
I mean, I don't think they need to. That
Yeah.
This game definitely doesn't need that kind of energy or flow to it. I like the fact that there's several opportunities on a character to mix them up on Wake Up and make them guess what's going to happen next. It's, even if it's cheesy, like you're blinding them with Hellzone Grenade or something else that's big and explosive. Like I'm okay with that. I'm like, dude, you better block right. If I'm in the air and you can't see what I'm doing, like you better block high or jump back. Teaches people how to react to situations when they are actually, forced to actually fight. One of the things that I know a lot about, especially modern FGC players, is that they got a game plan, but they can't fight. You put them on their heels and they're just like all thumbs. This game kind of puts you in that shit immediately. Makes you guess a lot. Makes you rely on some instincts a little bit. At least that's how I played.
Unfortunately, I feel like that's how we have to play right
now. Yeah, it is. Arcade mode.
Yeah. But before I get to the next thing that I want to ask Tatsu, I want to remind you guys, and I'm hoping our producer Gibby can hear me, that you guys can ask us the questions. We're gonna give you a little bit of time. We're gonna keep talking for a bit, but we're gonna give you an opportunity to get into our Discord and ask us some questions before we end the stream and give you guys an opportunity at a response. So, Gibby, if you drop the Discord in there and let the fine gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ask away.
We've got kind of a queue already too. All right.
Yeah, you're right. So we might have to get to those soon. But I always have this question after all this technical talk and the future of Dragon Ball Fighters. I always like to ask, Tatsu, what was your first exposure to the Dragon Ball series?
God, it's so hard to. I don't think I'd be able to pinpoint like the exact moment, but I definitely remember like coming to friends' houses. And like I played a Hyper Dimension on someone's Super Nintendo that they had modded to like play Japanese games.
Somebody actually had Hyper Dimension?
Someone had Hyper Dimension, man. I don't know what the modding process is for Super Nintendo, but yeah, I got to play that shit at some point. A lot of it was like watching the cartoon, obviously, and even the Japanese dub from VHSs that were like bootleg. I have the manga translated in Vietnamese, actually, which is like it's the funniest shit because like back when they would have the they would air the anime in the US, like I already knew everything that was going to happen because I had it in Vietnamese. And so like I would like spoil kids at school. Like, yeah, like Goku and Vegeta are gonna like turn into one guy. It's gonna be like
they're just looking at you like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they'll be like, what? That shit's crazy. You know what's funny, man? Like when you think about Dragon Ball Fighters, it kind of is that game that it sounds like someone would lie to you about it, like an elementary school.
Yeah,
kids just fucking lie. They're like, oh yeah, there's an Arc System Works game. It's 3v3, and this is all these Dragon Ball characters fighting. It's like you don't really believe it. It's too good to be true.
Funny you mentioned that because that was totally me when I was a kid. Because I had no idea what was going on with anything in the storyline. But at my local swap meet, they had just about every single character from the Dragon Ball series in some like bootleg packaging. I just didn't know what their origin was. Like I've seen Boo before, but I don't know what his deal is. I've seen Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but I didn't even know that was Goku. I thought that was somebody else. I talked about it like a few weeks ago. I thought it was Raditz might have gone Super Saiyan 3 or Piccolo made a wish to the dragon to be a Saiyan and it turned Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
All I can say is it's a really great time to be a Dragon Ball fan.
Oh boy, yeah, man.
Man, like with even Dragon Ball Kai coming back, and then Dragon Ball Super, and then all these games that we've been getting, it's really cool.
I feel like with Super and Fighters on the docket, like just the general feeling around Dragon Ball hasn't not necessarily improved because it was always pretty high, but I think it's gotten like more out in the open. It's become mainstream. Probably for the first time in the Western world, I think it was mainstream in certain areas of the world, you know, like probably Latin America, obviously Japan, Korea, China. But this is the first time I've ever really seen like such a gigantic reaction in America itself. And these are like, I mean, I look at this, I look at Twitter every day, right? And I see like all the Dragon Ball stuff on there, and I'm just like, dude, where was this shit when I was in middle school? Like, you know, being the only black kid in middle school that liked Dragon Ball, nobody to talk to about it. Now everybody wants to talk about it. I'm like, great, you know, come on the show.
Dude,
not literally, we don't have time for it, but
that,
ask a question.
That reminds me of a situation that I think all of us might have gone through, where it was like we liked Dragon Ball for so long, and then you kind of run into peers that you think wouldn't like it, and then you never bring it up, but then they bring it up, and then you're like, for real? Okay, yeah, I know a little bit about Dragon Ball. I mean, yeah, it wasn't my whole childhood and all, but you know, yeah, what's up, bro? Let's talk about Dragon Ball.
For real.
That's what it is, man. Like, that's why Fighters has such like a strong potential, right? Because like everyone likes Dragon Ball, they really do.
It's hard to find people that don't, honestly, and I feel like people that don't are people who are just like, I don't watch it, not necessarily I never watched it or didn't like it. You know, I feel like everybody has that. At least that is part of this fandom that is fighting games, gaming, anime, whatever. Have at least a large percentage of positive experiences with Dragon Ball. So, you know, right place, right time, basically for us. You know, luckily we're not too old to play it.
Yeah, we definitely are in a very lucky moment in time right now.
Seriously. Like, can you imagine if we were OGs and we were like, you know, Via's age or some shit, and it was like, hey, Dragon Ball's coming out. I'm like, oh fuck!
I'd have been so mad because I would have been like, dude, it passed me up, man. I'm too old. I'll be like hoping, I'm gonna raise my kids to be fighting game players. They got hope. They still got
You
hope.
live my dream for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, good answer, man. Yeah, I always want to hear how people's origin with this series. And yeah, I feel like most people have pretty similar stories, but it's always interesting. Anyways, into the question time, because we actually got some pretty good questions. Okay, this one is from DJ Cruelly D. Do you think to compensate for the lack of female characters, they'll add Kale and Caulifla despite their lacking moves?
I feel like this is a question that we've answered before, but this is worded in a way that makes it more topical because they don't really have any moves. I think Kale probably has more shown of her than Caulifla. But as we said before, we don't know how far they're willing to dip into super territory because likely this was being developed before these characters were even on the docket. That being said, yeah, I can see it happening, you know?
Sure.
I can totally see them doing it, but is it a good idea? It's a little more airier, you know?
All righty. Next question. I want to, this is head_pixel. I want to know what you think the new Dragon Ball meter would do, but what you want it to do.
This is for Tatsu.
Yeah.
What I want it to do?
Okay, I'll read it again.
I'm just scared like everyone else, man.
That is a good point.
I don't know what the fuck it does, dude. I just hope it's not retarded. Like, I hope it's not like some Danger Time bullshit.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
But I mean, let's talk about that, man. Like, so we know that the meter is shared, right?
Yeah, the gauge is shared between
the gauge
two
is
players.
shared, and there doesn't seem to be any like indication or anything about who earns which Dragon Ball, right? Yeah, so I feel like because a lot of people are now they're like, oh, like, you know, maybe the player who gets 4 Dragon Balls will get like a higher like advantage over the guy that gets like all 3 or the other 3, right? But I'm just like, man, I think it's got to be something that just affects both players, I feel, instead of favoring one.
Like maybe they're actually working together to build the Dragon Balls up, and then it unlocks.
And then it changes the match in some way.
Yeah,
I feel. Maybe both players are gonna get fucking Sparky.
Like,
and then they just go to town on each other, just doing like air dash mix-ups for days.
actually, I just had a horrible thought where, like, what if you get all 7 and then a fucking roulette wheel opens up of like different wishes you can make? You just spin it and like whatever happens.
Like God Hand, dude.
Yeah,
It's
like a
fucking attack from God
God
Hand?
wheel, man. God wheel.
Yeah, maybe, man.
Oh, that would
Your
be terrible.
Kamehameha now has full invincibility at all times forever.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of people are scared about this because, you know, not only are they saying, hey, it's, you know, something that's totally unique to Dragon Ball only, and I'm like, oh great, they're creating a new mechanic for fighting games now. Definitely would like this in a lesser known game so they could test it out first.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we know now is that it seems to, collect balls accordingly to the number of hits you perform in a combo, right?
Yeah, I think it's always got
So
to
if
be
you get like 10 hits, you'll get the first
Yeah.
ball. If you get 30 hits, you get the third ball. 70 hits, the second ball, and so on. And
yeah,
so,
and
yeah.
I mean,
I wonder how much of it, like, are we just gonna? Is it a mechanic we're gonna be seeing every match? And how much is it gonna affect, the actual gameplay?
I don't like when you tie it to combo hits and stuff like that. I could see it being a semi-rare occasion. It'll obviously be easy to get them if you're able to outperform your opponent. But I also feel like, man, do you really know how to get 60 hits, like exactly between 60 and 69 hits in a combo, you know? Or are you going to go over and get 70? Or are you going to go under and get 59, you know? So that's kind of interesting in a way, but I also feel like it's not interesting enough that people will chase it. So that's what's going to make it a semi-rare event. Am I going to do damage or am I going to do a 70-hit combo so I can get that 7th Dragon Ball?
I definitely know one thing, that if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be super disappointed. And a fucking dragon better come out after they collect the 7 Dragon Balls, cause fuck you if you guys don't do that shit.
Sky turns dark and
Yeah.
Well, dude,
his voice comes out.
first of all, these matches are already 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and the dragon comes out takes like an hour, man.
I was gonna say,
shit,
like,
dragon.
I was gonna say, like, man, there's no way it's gonna be like a revive mechanic, right? Even though like revives are so big in Dragon Ball, like I feel like matches are already so long right now.
Well, exactly, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that they said was that this mechanic would be completely unique to Dragon Ball Fighters, and I believe them when they say that, especially considering the next interview they did for Game Informer was about the similarities between Dragon Ball Fighters and Marvel Infinite, of which there apparently are none, according to the 2 producers. So I'm not entirely sure it will be a revival mechanic, because right now, I mean, I'm not saying that Marvel Infinite has a monopoly on such a thing, but it's kind of being done right now. It's definitely not unique to Dragon Ball Fighters, you know? Or it wouldn't be, rather. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm shitting my pants.
Yeah.
Man, it's worrisome. Because the game plays fine right now to me.
Yes.
Like I like where it's at right now, right? And so like I would hate to have them add some kind of like gimmicky mechanic, but I mean at the same time I have faith because it's Arc System Works and probably have an idea of what they're doing.
We're definitely in a very unique situation where it's like the game is a ways away, but we just keep hoping that, hey, it's good, don't fuck it up. I don't know what game that we've played before where it was in its early stages where it's like, oh shit, it's really fucking good. Like, okay, new iteration, still good, okay. Oh fuck, they're gonna introduce Dragon Balls. Shit.
Why would a game named Dragon Ball Fighters? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out in a few months, or probably even sooner than that, actually.
I mean, yeah, probably by the end of the week. Tomorrow? Shit. Hopefully.
Yeah. So on to the next question. This is from Jam. Sacred World of Kai got revealed as a stage. Kid Buu may be Eminence. Early calls on what you think his playstyle / movesets would be like.
Well, it's in Extreme Butoden already, so I'm gonna call that he has the foot in the ground special.
I've been calling that for a while.
Yeah, I mean that's one of his signature attacks. Is like puts his foot in the ground and then it comes up underneath you and then it chases you across the field.
He's got that chest beat.
That's how he charges up or something, right?
Yeah.
I could see that being some kind of buff too, where he just like activates it like Angry Scar or some shit.
In Extreme Butoden, he had a lot of like stretchy hands.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
So it will be similar to Majin Buu as it is, but probably be a faster character, maybe even more high damaging because if it's anything like the character, he does more damage than Buu. Probably more. I wouldn't. Probably more rush down too, like probably just like overwhelming type play because that's how his personality is. Doesn't really do a lot of like keep away or tricky play. He's just more like I'm gonna keep smashing you in a corner.
He's,
Of course.
he's definitely the YOLOist of the boos.
Yeah,
Well, I got a question on top of that question. Do you think Kid Buu is more eminent, or do you think that that's maybe even a shout out to Gohan being eminent? Sorry, Mystic Gohan or Adult Gohan.
That's also a possibility. Yeah.
I think both of them have like a pretty equal chance of showing up.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is that stage alone does possibly mean those two, but then you're thinking about Buu, and it's like, well, Buu technically has 3 major iterations, you know, as Majin Buu, Super Buu, and Kid Buu. And
Supreme Kai is about to be in there.
He is playable in other Dragon Ball, especially in the Super Butoden line. Grand Kai or whatever his name, or Supreme Kai is always a playable character in the Butoden line games, which I still maintain this is a part of. So, it's possible he could be in there. It won't be Kibito Kai though. That guy doesn't do shit.
Yeah, he sucks. That guy sucks.
Yeah, terrible. Horrible fusion. Horrible fusion.
All right. On to the next question by Riz Hall. Important question. Why is Tatsu such a cutie? Oh, Riz Hall. Because he's amazing.
I'll answer that. Go ahead, Tatsu.
Yeah, I mean, at least I'm a boy again. I had long hair for a while. I would play in arcades and stuff, and it would be really dark, right? And people would be like, "Oh man, I just lost to a girl. This girl had the sick ass Vega."
Like with complete disbelief, it's like, I know it sounds crazy, and I know you think I'm joking, but real shit, this girl fucks me up.
Yeah, man.
Those are rough times, man.
All right. Another question. Tatsu, what is your favorite anime?
What's my favorite anime? Dragon Ball.
All right, good answer. Zero answered your question quickly. Also, blah blah blah. All right. This is another question from DJ Quilly D. Also, do you think they should add a Dragon Ball Dash cancel? For me personally, I thought about it while playing Buu and Dragon Dash into continue a combo, but wanted to cancel into his EX ground pummel. So I guess he's asking about we were kind of talking about it last week, weren't we? Where it was. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm actually confused because it's Dragon Rush and Super Dash, but he called it Dragon Dash. I'm like, which one should be cancelable? I definitely don't think the grab should be cancelable. No, you should commit to that every time. The Super Dash, well, go ahead, continue with that thought because I have quite an essay on that.
No. That's exactly why I'm asking you, because I know that we had this conversation about it, and it's a topic that's come up every now and then.
Okay. Well, I like the idea of I like the idea of Super Dash cancels. They definitely add a flavor of come and get me. I'm not coming to you. You're reacting to me, thinking I'm coming to you kind of gameplay going on there. Right now, the way we have been playing is that everybody who does raw Super Dash has to commit to it, and they're most likely going to eat a 2H if they did it at a bad time. But doing the cancel means you can do a bad dash at the wrong time, and if you can't, and you're most likely you would have to cancel it right at the startup. You know, there shouldn't be any mid dash canceling or anything like that. That's just garbage.
Yeah, man, I'm not feeling that.
Right? Yeah, I would not like that. But on like the startup, sure, like I totally would dig that, because if they read that and they go for that 2H and they whiff, boy, get in that ass.
All right. So I think this, sorry guys, is going to be our last question for the week. But this last question comes from Outro Gabriel or Gabriel. The Dragon Ball mechanic, you guys think it will promote exploration for new combo routes, especially since they appear to share between players. I think it's talking about the Dragon Balls, the actual Dragon Balls.
Mhm.
Like if it would explore combo routes. So you might have restrained yourself from doing a specific combo in fear of their activation. Oh, okay. So
I see.
do you think that there will be new combo routes, and will it affect probably the meta of the game by trying to not get the Dragon Ball or stop somebody from
Oh
doing it?
yeah, okay. So he was saying in the chat that we did answer his question already, because basically what we said was like,
Oh,
are they going to go for combos that will necessarily net the Dragon Balls, or are they going to go for combos that will net damage? You know,
okay, okay.
I can see both.
Yeah. The Dragon Ball mechanic is gonna be something that we are definitely gonna be waiting for with bated breath for sure in the coming weeks. Anyways, so that's the questions for the week, guys. Gibby, if you could put up the Discord again, if you guys can put your questions now for next week or even in a later date and just join our community, because yeah, everybody's pretty cool in there, man, and it's pretty chill atmosphere. Myself and Hell Pockets try to pop in there as often as possible and keep the Jesus Christ.
Just
uh,
celebrating the end of another great episode. Oh
yeah.
wow, what the hell, man?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, what are you doing? Our own producer is the biggest troll ever. Um, anyways, yeah, if you guys got questions anytime during the week, we'll definitely go back and revisit those. Or you guys could just chat up about not just Dragon Ball, but, you know, fighting game stuff. So one thing I definitely wanted to mention is with, I don't know if it's regret, but just letting you guys know right now. So we got a Teespring, right? Right, Hot Pockets?
Yeah.
We got this Teespring. All right, so we're gonna kill it for forever.
Wow.
As far as
So
these
much
shirts
regret.
go,
So much
as
regret.
as far as these shirts go, these designs, they will never come back, and I can promise you that they won't. They won't ever come back. They had a good run. They had a good run, but we will be giving you guys a chance to till I'll just say till Sunday to try to acquire these
Soon to be
fading,
rare.
yeah, soon to be super rare designs. But I'll tell you what, for all you guys that have supported us and bought some of our merchandise and subscribed. Also, another thing, you want to be a jackass like Gibby and post his dumb face everywhere, please subscribe.
Please
So you guys
subscribe.
can have a Gibby ooh face battle. But yeah, we're gonna be closing off the Teespring. Now, it is not all sadness here, folks, because we will be bringing you some new designs in the future. Just don't know when. So check those out, man. Check those out. Grab them while you can.
I'll have to cop one, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, good looking out.
Go for it.
Tight.
See, at least he
I,
said,
I need to get one.
at least he said he would cop one. Like Dakia last week is like, oh, I'm gonna get one for being on the show, right? Like, yeah.
Can you get one for me? I haven't even been able to touch the design. Anyways, yeah, it's over. But let's see, another news. Oh, big news. What's going on next week, Hell Pockets? What's a change on the docket for next week?
A change on the docket for next week. Oh,
For this show.
boy.
For this show.
For the show. Okay, specifically for the show. This may not be as exciting as the previous announcement, but maybe just as disappointing. We are actually going to be taking a break next week. Mount Paozu Arcade will be back the week after next week. We will be taking a hiatus because I believe our producer is going to be traveling, doing big things, and we want him to be able to do that and come home nice and refreshed, not worrying about doing another episode. We'll still be doing stuff on our YouTube channel, so I'll be covering, if there's any Dragon Ball FighterZ news, I'll be doing vlogs based on that, so you can go check that out at youtube.com/GameGoonsTV. It should be over there on the description. And yeah, we'll see you 2 weeks from now, week before Halloween, I guess it is.
Yeah, you mentioned other content. We also have the commentary tracks for the Dragon Ball Super Series. So check those out. And you guys know we got that new Jiren versus Goku episode coming up, and we're gonna make that a big thing.
That's gonna be a big one, I believe, man. Like you've got the fight. They're treating it like the fight of the century. Like we brought it up earlier in the episode, and they're just like, oh man, this is like Ali versus Frazier. You know, Thriller in Manila.
Any predictions, Tatsu? What's gonna happen on that fight?
Well, I know Goku's supposed to get like a new form or something, right?
Oh,
Yeah, maybe he'll bust it out.
as a matter of fact, he better bust it out. They need to bust something out. Opinions on the commentary track. We have been sharing them. So if you haven't got the chance to look at those, please do, because we are beginning to have some pretty strong opinions about Super.
That might actually replace the review series I used to do, because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to review this episode after I'm done talking about it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we could implement that for sure. We're already headed that way.
Totally. But yeah, so this is gonna be a big weekend for Dragon Ball in general, you know. So make sure you check that out. And I guess there's also that pre-show that Funimation ran. So I don't know when they're planning on airing that. But other than that, I think that's all the news we got.
Okay, in that case, I want to thank Tatsu for coming out, man. Thanks a lot, dude.
No, man, thanks for having me on, guys. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd love to come back on if you guys ever need another person to talk to. Like,
for
feel
sure,
free to invite me, man.
Like, we want all of our old guests to come back on and talk. And we want everybody to at least make 2 appearances. One before the game, and obviously one after the game at minimum.
Yeah, well, we're definitely not gonna forget about you, man. I mean, you guys have already provided enough info and video for us to chew on for a bit. Even though we need some more, dude. We need some more. Yeah.
I wish I recorded more videos. But yeah.
Story of my life, dude.
Hey, man. We'll make it happen in the future. We'll make it happen. But yeah, thank you for being on the show, Tatsu. It's been great talking to you. And yeah. Hell Pockets. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Yeah. Where do people follow you, Tatsu? Please have them get connected with you, because that is something we have failed to do.
Yeah, so if you want to follow me, just hit me up on Twitter. It's going to be Twitter / Tatsunical, named after the number of hits you get in Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Like, yeah, if you reach a number of hits in that game, the announcer goes like, Tatsunical! You know, like, marvelous! Like, stuff like that. That's where my name comes from.
Oh, I never knew that.
Gonna drop that link for you guys. Please follow Tatsu, man. He's been.
And then if you guys want to check out my match with Naokil, that is posted on my YouTube channel as well, which is also.
Oh, is that also Tatsunoko?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's guys, like a full set on the last day, so really good matches.
All right, sounds good. Please follow Tatsu. He's given a lot of insight so far since the beta and before that, and been posting videos, so please check him out. But anyways, I think it's that time for you, Hell Pockets. I think it's that time, man.
All right, it is that time, because it is now, like, 9:20, and my face is not returned to the screen. So I can't tell what's going on. Is that really me? Is it me or is it you? Like, am I Gibby now? Shit. But anyway, we want to thank you for joining us on this episode. Once again, I want to thank Tatsunoko, and I want to call him Tatsunical for joining us on the show tonight. And again, we won't be here next week, but we miss you guys already, and we will see you the week after that. And of course, make sure you watch Dragon Ball Super this weekend. And always remember, keep it super. You know what I'm saying? Didn't break it.